Hey guys, I think I'm live. Welcome to William C# and Engineering Walkthroughs. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I am gonna just make sure that all my backend is okay. I'm gonna make sure I'm streaming online, so I'm just gonna be off screen for a minute and we're gonna jump straight in, guys. Check my channel. How you all doing? It's gonna be quite an interesting episode today, I think. Yep, looks like I'm streaming. Yeah, looks like I'm streaming. Let me see. I'll leave that there. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? We're gonna get into some really interesting stuff today. The stream is online now. A little bit late. I apologize. It's my fault. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna try and keep the timing schedule quite consistent. Especially for my USA gang out there, anyone watching from USA. It's probably quite early right now, maybe it's around 10 AM I think. So yeah, I'm going to be trying to keep a more consistent schedule, and it's going to be interesting because I'm going to talk about the draw core system. As you can already see on the screen, I have my draw core here. I'm going to be talking about the draw core system for Vanguard Engine. I'm going to introduce Vanguard again for those who might be new to the stream and this series. I'm going to talk about some of the techniques I'm going to use to build a scene, which is the Z buffer and the command list, and how we can utilize the Vanguard core library to build our scene from project scope. So without much further, let's jump straight in. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to explain what Vanguard Engine is. Vanguard Engine is my really simple class UWP class library, which basically does the aim of Vanguard is to do a considerable amount of heavy lifting when it comes to building a 2D game using C#, namely UWP, Universal Windows Platform. Now, I identify some pain points when it comes to building 2D games. 2D games on UWP is quite a niche area, but of course it's quite a scalable area as well. Of course, on the Microsoft Store, you have a ton of UWP apps. They can be apps and they can be games, right? So you can make your own games and ship them on the Microsoft Store, make money for yourself, right? So that's what we're kind of doing here. So this is more of a walkthrough of me building this engine, this framework that I would like to share later as time goes, rather than like a step-by-step tutorial, but you'll hopefully pick up some things along the way. Alright, so let me just check some stuff. So where am I? Where am I right now? Just gonna sip my tea. So yeah, Vanguard Engine is a set of classes in a library. I have my Vanguard core library here with a set of classes that do a lot of the lifting for, again, building scenes. So setting up the draw core, the update loop, loading your resources, initializing your resources. I had a lot of issue, not a lot of issue, but I was a little bit stuck for like a few hours, like over a day, from one day to the next, till like just recently today. My draw core wasn't initializing, my update core was initializing, but my draw core wasn't initializing. I hope I don't run into that issue again, because what ended up happening was that what fixed the issue, and I'm still not 100% sure if what I did was a good fix or just like a really decent workaround, but I called invalidate for my canvas control, my animated canvas control. I'll show you guys. So from the last stream, I've done a little bit more coding, and I'll try to show you guys some of the updates. I even made a note somewhere. So, code changes due to my draw loop not firing. Don't worry about this draw loop. It was here for testing purposes. I'm probably going to get rid of it because it's in project scope. The draw loop we are concerned with is in library scope over here. This one here, draw loop, public void draw. I'm going to walk through how this all works. This was just because I was testing things. I'm going to get rid of it soon. In fact, I'm going to just comment it out for now, and then I'm going to delete this draw function when I'm ready. So guys, what I was doing, I was initializing my event handlers, right? I've got an event handler for create resources, an event handler for update and draw calls, right? And it was weird because my update, what actually happens, I'll set your attention to Win2D, the documentation that is. According to the documentation, let me see, not this bit, although this is still quite useful. Let me go here. I think it's under features. Is it quick start? Oh no, API reference. Canvas. I'm trying to look for that canvas animate control. Is it under canvas? No, it's not under canvas. It's under like somewhere else. I think it's this one. Yeah, so canvas animate control class. So the Win2D documentation clearly describes how the UI thread and the game loop thread interrupt with each other. And what was happening was that I was getting the UI thread firing, so I had my update calls working, but my draw calls weren't working. I was stumped because I basically initialized both of them pretty much identically, and I didn't know what was going on. So I'll run the program just to kind of like walk through what I'm talking about. I already hooked the respective methods, so draw.draw. So I'm accessing my draw call method from my animated draw class. And I wasn't getting draw calls. What Win2D does is that once you've loaded your resources, then the dispatcher invokes the draw call. But what was going on in my case was that my program didn't know that my resources were fully loaded, right? So if say I had my sprite, I'll just put it on screen, and I was loading it because I have my load resources routine, as I've shown in the previous episode. After that custom routine that I built, my program didn't know, or my program didn't understand that now all the resources are loaded. The flag was still false. So this is canvas loaded flag, which basically is just a variable that's assigned the value of main canvas animated control is loaded boolean flag, was always false. So I was confused, I was getting quite worried. I was like, what's going on? So as we can see, my breakpoint is now hitting my draw call. I'm really happy about that. This was not happening earlier after my stream yesterday, and like up until recently today, this was not invoking. And I was pretty worried. I was like, what's going on? The update call is invoking. If I were to put a break on the animated update, I think my update call will break. I'll break here. Yeah, as you can see. So what I did, I put an invalidate call here to test things out. And this, so my iCanvas animated control, so a reference to my animated canvas control. And I have the same invalidate call here, main canvas animated control invalidate. So I'm basically forcing my dispatcher to know that my animated resources have been loaded and that the draw call thread is ready to invoke. And of course, and I say of course, but what ends up happening is that now my draw calls are invoked. So I'm really happy about that. It apparently is supposed to happen automatically, I think, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Maybe implicitly the invalidate is called once the event handler has invoked this method, or something. I don't know. All I know is that I called invalidate, and I found a really handy forum. It's hard to find Win2D forums that are relevant to like nowadays, but it's because Win2D hasn't really changed. Even the older forums are still cool. I found this on Stack Overflow, this page, and yeah, Stack Overflow comes in clutch because the guy is literally talking about exactly what I'm going through, and he suggested, I think the top comment, the top answer showed that I need to call invalidate, and the invalidate will invoke the draw event. That's exactly what I needed. So I was so close yet so far, because like invalidate is just like one line of code. It's just a method call and it worked. But I was kind of far because it's like, not knowing that, I was like, wow, this functional issue I'm going through my code, how do I deal with what seems to be like an under the hood issue? Like, it was really weird. So I'm quite pleased about that. Excuse me, guys. So now that we have that out of the way, preceding this particular episode, My workshops have been setting up, and I'm still going to be setting up the core libraries of Vanguard. But now that we have, guys, now that we have our draw core up and running, we can build scenes. We can basically build scenes. And all the draw core logic and the animated resources loading logic resides in the library. Huh. So what this basically means is that as far as our project scope is concerned, we don't even have to set up the draw core because Vanguard core does that. So it's optional. I say it's optional because again, as developers, we want options. And Vanguard core library is offering those options. So it's not I'm not particularly saying with this feature of the draw cores being invoked in the library scope that it has to be used that way. You might want to invoke your load resources on your project scope. You can do that. You might want to invoke keep your draw core in project scope. You can do that. But what I've done, I've offered the option to just have the draw core via Win2D handled in library scope. And so now the question is, Williams, how do we put objects into a published DLL? So if our draw core resides in our library runtime, how do we then pass our scene objects to a library that's published and that we can't necessarily access the class itself? That's a good question. The way I'm looking to do that is to basically go through my content pipeline class. So in the library, I want to expose some members in my content pipeline. This is where the content pipeline starts coming in handy. Let me see what am I doing? I'll just wait for this to load. Did I stop the program? Yeah, I did. So the content pipeline, the whole idea, again, I kind of alluded to this in one of the previous episodes, is that in my data interface class, so if I have data interface.cs, my data interface is basically acts like a view model between the model and the view. So between the business logic, all of the brains of the library, and the project scope, between the project scope and the feature set of the library is the data interface. So I have all of these features, right? Load resources. I might have a feature, a functionality that's like draw core. I can have update core, such and so forth. And the data interface is just a getter for all of these, right? So I'm getting draw. This is just an example. I'm not saying I'm particularly doing this. And such and so forth. But then my content pipeline, which is kind of like on a higher level domain in a sense, says, okay, I'm going to go to my data interface layer and I'm going to invoke let's just say this is an example, get draw, and I'm going to invoke, oh, actually let this make a bit more sense. So I'm going to invoke get load resources. That makes sense. Resources. And I'm going to invoke get draw. Only those two, right? In that order. So I'm not going to touch this. So this, excuse me, let's have some tea. The data interface just acts as it's an interface actually. Of course, I have got the interface layer, and between the implementation and the interface layer, it's like a contract sort of relationship. So I have all of the signatures of my features, the functionalities, picking them in the pipeline. So that's the distinguishing feature between the data interface layer and the content pipeline. The content pipeline might look like the data interface layer, but really I'm picking and choosing which of these I want to invoke. These are just signatures. They're not invoking in order, you see? Nothing's happening here. But that's where the content pipeline comes in. I can't find it again. Because in the content pipeline, we say, okay, in the data interface layer, I want this function, I want this function. And so this is where the question of how do I draw scenes at runtime at project scope comes in. Because I reckon, I made a note of this because I just wanted to be on the safe side. Let me just go up to my notes. I can find my notes. So I alluded to this idea of the command list and the Z buffer, right? These objects I can initialize Z buffer and command list on my draw core. So if I go to my draw core, where's it gone? I already started on my Z buffer invocation, but some of these constraints are wrong. So I was getting errors, but obviously I was just testing the draw core feature, which now works. And then so we're going to be working on the Z buffer command list today, hopefully. Probably we'll make a start on the Z buffer. Hopefully we get some more time. We'll get time enough that we can work on the command list. So I'm gonna uncheck that now. I'm gonna uncomment this line. So because of the nature of the list, because it's obviously just like multiple elements in the structure in the list itself, I could have multiple elements in my buffer. So I can initialize one buffer here by default. I can initialize my command list by default, and then have like various instances of functionalities in each slot by calling like a populate or an add function for the list items, right, at project scope. And by doing this, it means that I can add to my draw core as and when needed. So it's going to be kind of an interesting way to design this mechanism. I'm hoping it works. Just kidding, guys. I haven't tested it or anything. It's just the theory. So we're going to go ahead and start things out and see what happens. So before I even start working on utilizing the Z buffer, let me just walk you guys through what the Z buffer does. Right. This is the Z buffer class. All it does, I'm creating a delegate, okay, over here. So I create a delegate object, and so what the delegate does, the delegate encapsulates an object. In this case, it's a method. So I'm encapsulating a method as an object, so that I can store that method in a list construct, in a list structure, or like in a list, better said. So I have these method calls, which is just basically drawing session calls, stored in a list, right, in my Z buffer list. So as long as I'm storing these drawing session calls, which is in fact just the canvas animated control over here, my canvas bitmap. My canvas bitmap alludes to my sprites because I'm storing my sprites as canvas bitmap. So you can consider my canvas bitmap holding like sprite information in a sense. So I've got my sprites catered for by the canvas bitmap. I've got my canvas animated draw event args, and by accessing this class, I can then access the drawing session property, and then by supplying destination rect to one of the overloads, like 18 overloads for the draw image function, which resides in my drawing session property. Let me see if I can show it to you. As you can see, drawing session, draw image. There's like a load of overloads. There's like 18 or something, I don't know. 19 overloads, as you can hopefully see. You choose the one you want. In this case, I'm passing a canvas bitmap and a destination rect, and so the rect just holds the bounds of the canvas bitmap object. So you might want like a 500 by 500 pixel, say, background. You might want a 200 by 200, say, pixel bounds for your MC player agents, right? So then this is then, so I'm calling drawing session, args is updated. There's one more. I'm missing something here. So guys, 1 second. Drawing session. Yeah, and because I'm calling drawing session, what it does is when you call draw image, it actually draws to the canvas. Like once you hook your canvas to your draw core, and you call this method draw image, or whatever draw it is, because there's multiple draws. There's like draw text, I think draw text, draw SVG, draw text layout, draw rectangle. If you draw image, it will then just draw what you pass in your draw image overload onto your canvas bitmap. Quite handy. So by utilizing this in the list format, it just means that I can have multiple I can have multiple items in my Z buffer here, which you can see I'm populating here, passing Let me just have a quick look at what I'm doing there. So zbuffer delegate takes the canvas in question, because you could technically have multiple canvases, I guess. The canvas in question, the event args, and the destination rect is all being passed here. So I have a command list object here, which I don't know if I've called populate command list here. I don't think I have, but when I do, I obviously want to access. So when I let's just say this is my command list, right, with different features or functionalities in each element here. Then if I access, say, an index 0, then I'm accessing this functionality here. If that says index 1, then I'm accessing this one. And it could just be a drawing session call to like my Valkyrie sprite, like this, right? Then I have this animation class, which I haven't really introduced to you guys yet. Animation list. I've made this already in like previous live streams, and I've been utilizing my animation class off screen. So a list of animation. What is this animation class? Let's have a look. All it is, you put in some constraints. You put in a canvas bitmap list. So a list of sprites. Think of it like that. A list of sprites, right? And then it will animate your sprites, like literally draw them on the screen in order via a particular frame rate and a range. So if I have 10 sprites, I could target sprite 0 through to 5, and I keep looping that. Or with this feature, with this function, if I put 0 to 10, then it will literally return sprite 0 through 10 on each draw call. That's what this class is responsible for. Okay. Let me go back to animated draw. So by having a list of these animation classes, it just means that I can have the constraints of each animation for each respective sprite stored in the list. I can access that at runtime. It's pretty neat. I should probably have the chat up in my left on my off screen. Let me have a look so I don't miss any comments. Hey guys, I see some comments. Hello there, Async. Hope you're doing good. Hey there, Filter. I hope you're doing good. So, continuing on. What are we doing now? Let me go to my agenda. I forgot. Agenda. Yeah. So we've dealt with a few things already. Wait. Oh, I should pass this to my tasks. I need to cross off my tasks. So I should be able to build a simple scene via the Vanguard core library. That's what we're kind of doing now, overall, generally speaking, with this series. So I'm looking at draw call flow, I'm looking at animation routine, that's already set. I'm building the scene from project scope, that's what we want to do. So yeah, I need to do this bit. Utilizing the content pipeline to pass objects to the draw loop, basically. So let me go to my tasks. I'll just update this. What's the date today? It's the 19th. I wrote this one yesterday. Update loop is working, but draw loop isn't. I need to see what's going on. I didn't update the date. That handlers. Anyway, I just keep it like that because I can't remember now. 19th of June, 2026. Alright, so draw loop. Zbuffer and command list. That's it. So my zbuffer. My draw loop. Okay, so I need to populate my zbuffer from project scope so that my draw loop can draw scene assets in order. And I'd also like to, let me see, I like to set my command list. Okay. So I need to make sure I can get and set command list items at project scope and run commands via update and or draw loops. Probably be the update loop, but it could be the draw loop as well. They're quite similar in functionality. So what have I done from yesterday actually? I need to see my update loop is working, but draw loop, I'm going to say fixed. Make sure that the event handlers for the animated resources draw loop will load correctly. That's done. Completed this action. Build an animation routine, still yet to be done. And to call the zbuffer. The core window API I need to implement, and keyboard parsing. Okay. So we'll start with the zbuffer. Sweetness. So the zbuffer implementation is already sorted out. It's just kind of like loading it correctly. Hopefully these things don't take too long. Animate a draw. I'm going to lock in a little bit. So zbuffer list, command list. So what I'm doing here is quite interesting. You don't necessarily need to pass a command list because command lists are completely optional. But here I'm passing a command list. Excuse me. I'm passing a command list, which is the first element of my command list, so a command object, into my zbuffer, which is probably some kind of draw call. Because then what I'm doing, that command list object, now this is where things get a bit interesting because I want to set the command list at project scope. But so far, setting the command list is kind of a job that has to be done in the library itself. So it depends how I go about it. Right now, I have a delegate that encapsulates this function, command list one calls, and it's an animation. So in my command list, my general list of different functionalities, I have an animation call, right? So this just basically takes an animation class. This method here takes a canvas bitmap list. So I presume here it's a list of sprite animations, I could say. Animations per frame, so the speed of animation I wish to animate, and the upper lower index such that I can animate within bounds of my canvas bitmap list. Okay, I can use this then, and I've got like populate list and initialize command list, right? So animate draw. So what we're going to try and do, I'm going to try and get one of these sprites drawn on the screen. It will be like this one here. Oops. Okay. So command list index 0, presuming that I load my command list with my respective canvas bitmap list. I need to invoke an animation. I need to invoke an animation list. I need to target animation 1 in the 0 index. And then, what's this? Main animated resource assets. What's this for? Command list delegate. Canvas bitmap command list delegate. Oh yeah, it needs a command list. Yeah, and it needs the frame rate and my upper lower index. That's fine. Is that everything? And then my bounding rect, which is I use my render list. All my render list class does, it just creates rects, like generally. I could do that at draw scope, but I made a separate class for this, for me to draw rects. I'm not gonna have to do too much here. I just have to like make sure my classes are constructed. So I think this is statically access my command list. Yeah, that's fine. That's quite nice. So I'm gonna go to my data interface layer. Then go to the implementation. To my data interface implementation. I'm gonna make a method that just accesses my initialize my zbuffer or command list and zbuffer. Oh, I've got one here already, so I did this off screen, or maybe I even did it in the last stream. I can't really remember. I think it was in the last stream. So initialize zbuffer, I've already created that there, and the reference on my interface. Populate zbuffer. So I need to initialize my zbuffer. That's how I know what that actually does. I'm gonna refresh my memory. So I'm just creating a new zbuffer delegate. I'll populate by adding to the list. Okay. Interesting. So I'll do this one by one. I'll use debugging to expose what's actually going on. So I need to now start using my content pipeline to so I can pass things in. But because I'm working in project scope, the concept is that I want to build my scene from the project, not from the library. I want to build my scene from the project scope, not necessarily going into the library and changing things to build a scene. The library has to be general purpose. I have to access the components to build a scene from a project. So the data interface is there. Conduit pipeline. I guess the pipeline should be built. This is interesting now because the pipeline should be constructed at I should use project scope. I need to consider how I'm going to do that, so that I don't have to again go through. It shouldn't be too difficult, I think. Depends how I structure this. I guess I could make a list of delegates, but I feel like overcomplicating it. Why don't I try something here? A little simple. I'm going to I'm going to keep my pipeline in my main and just access my data interface so I can see what's going on and keep things simple. Then I can kind of see if it's worth me, making a content pipeline in the library. So what's going on here? This is my project scope. I'm setting all my canvas animated components. So that's that bit. I'm going to do it all in one class. Actually, no, that's not good. I'm going to make another class. So I'm going to change the name of pseudo pipeline. That was for testing purposes. Load. I'm going to call this this function load animated resources or something. Animated canvas. Load animated canvas components, because there's multiple things to load for the canvas. I'm just going to use the constructor of my main page class, just keep things simple. The simpler I can build a scene, like one class, few lines, the better. That's the whole idea, The complication comes from building deeper scenes, but I'm not there yet right now. So now I'm calling this function called build scene. I want to populate my zbuffer. So I'm going to access my Vanguard core. Oops, what did I do? Vanguard core, my data interface layer, have my oops, I did that wrong. Oops, I did that wrong. Main data interface. Set zbuffer initial. I need to initialize my zbuffer first, like this. Vanguard core. This is why modularity works, man. I did this already, so it's just a breeze right now. Data interface. I want to populate my zbuffer, so set my element on my zbuffer. Not sure what index is for. So zbuffer. Okay, I see. So I need the animation element here, so I return the canvas bitmap dynamically. This is what the draw core is supposed to handle. don't want to change the Z buffer either. How do I work around what's going on here? So data interface, set Z buffer element. Let me have a look at my Z buffer. I might need to extend my Z buffer a little bit. Because now that the draw core is in the library scope, it still might work actually. Just call animation. Yeah, just call animation. It's similar to what I already copied and pasted in my animated draw. Yeah, just use the command list way for now. So what I'm gonna do, wait, how's it look like on my main page? Set Z buffer element. Ooh, make sure I'm doing this right. That's interesting. Let's see that now. Oh, okay, I see. That's why I was getting confused. Data interface. Get asset from asset list. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Set Z buffer element. This might be wrong. Let me see. I need to look at my implementation. So this actually looks a bit sus. I wrote this in the last stream, so Z buffer list. Oh. Z buffer element. See what I'm doing. I already have it. Oh, there we see it. Oops, what's this thing? This is what I want. So I'm going to populate my Z buffer. I'm going to call, or rather, I'm going to call populate my Z buffer. Let's structure this a bit. So populate my Z buffer. Not sure what I was going for with this. Have a look at it. Okay, so I create the new Z buffer, and now I'm adding to the elements of the Z buffer. I'm assuming it's the first element, which is not great, but obviously for now it works in the sense that I can change this later. I just want to make sure it's up and running. So first element, I set the asset. I guess the event args, the canvas event args. What's this? I really like that. I'll leave it for now. So reference, it might be working, but it doesn't seem like it. So I need to call this. Oh, the index being used for the rat list. Index will probably be 0 for now. Let's look at the Z buffer again. Just draw call sessions. Draw session calls. That's all them do. Either drawing sessions being called. So yeah, I'm gonna need to just pass under the canvas. The first one has to be the animation object. Okay, I think I get it. Go back to my program. Or was it there? Hey, where was I? Data interface. Set Z buffer element. Index would be 0. This has to be the animation. So I need to construct the animation class. Vanguard core, main, oh wait, animation display. It is, but I need to make an I think I'm already doing this in the command list. Let me check my command list. Yeah, so I can use my command list. Always that for initialize command list. I'm going to populate my command list. That's what it is. Populate command list 1. Oops. This is not the best structure for my command list. So it's like for every command list you gotta make the delegate over and over again. But I just want to make sure this works and I can optimize it afterwards. Let me just update my signature. Void populate command list. Sweet. Look at this. Delegate type. So when I access my command, my first command, my delegate type, I'm encapsulating this function. So I need to grab this, which is the first element in my command list, and pass the parameters. So let me see. Oh gosh, what did I do? Okay. I blanked out. Core main, data interface. I need to initialize my command list. So this is just calling like create new command list basically. Pre-compiler or compiler, what it's called. Compiler directive or something. Pre-compiler directive. Vanguard core main data interface. I'll populate my command list. I'm basically just calling add to the list. So I've added an element. So at this point there's a new element added. So now if I access my command list, statically accessed I think. I'm not sure. I think it is command list 1 access by index. For now I'm going to hard code that 0, but it wants some parameters in the overload, so I need to pass an animation object. So it's going to be an animation object from my list of animation. Or for now, let me just make it a new animation. Let me not even make a list for now. Again, just need to get things up and running. Vanguard core. Give me main. Oh, okay, I've got animation list actually already. So if I use animation list. Hold on, let me just check this. So I've got a new list animation. I could just add it directly, but again, I want to use the data interface. Deploy, add animation to list. Accessing my main animation list to add. Animation class. I'll update my signature. Okay, sweetness. So now if I go back to my main window, my main page class, I'm going to call main animation list. Let's see what I'm doing here. Let's see. Animation list. I have to go for my data interface. Main data interface. Animation, add animation. Yeah, this one here. I forgot what this was. Animation is already constructed, so I'm just adding to my constructed list. list. So I'm constructing my animation list, or I'm populating my animation list here. Then dealing with my command list, then my Z buffer. So initialize, command list, populate, command list. Oh, I think I missed something. Go to my command list. So if I access my command list, yeah, let's go back to my main. So command list has been populated, 0, I'll populate a command, which happens to be animation routine. Animation list is populated, so I can access it. I'm just going to access it directly for now. Vanguard core, main animation list, so I know which list of animations I want. Canvas bitmap. What's this? The list of canvas bitmap. That's my animation, like my sprite animations, which I load already from my resources here. So my canvas bitmap list. I need to pass that. Can't remember where I stored that. Where's my animated resources? Here somewhere, I think. That shouldn't be async, but I'm gonna leave it for now because things are working. Let's see this. Assets is this one. Canvas bitmap. List of canvas bitmap. And obviously I need the nested list. I think. Yeah, I think so. So my canvas bitmap list and double check that. So oh, I messed up. Wait, of course. What am I doing? Animation list. Oh yeah, just list off. What animation list actually returning? One animation. Just gotta make sure I'm doing this right. Guess I can test it out at the end. Assets. List of canvas bitmap. I know some of these values, my constraints are hard-coded for now. Again, optimization will happen afterwards. Animations per frame. So how quick do I want my animation to be? How many draw calls do I want one frame of animation to be on the screen? Because it's just one picture, I'll just keep it as one. Lower index is 0. And the upper, what was it? Frame list. Oh, what's frame list? I'm not really sure about that. Must have done something complicated. Hold on. I don't know why it says frame list. It should just be upper index. Maybe I use a confusing name. Frame list, it should be just upper index. because it's one element is 0 index. So it should be 0 technically, but it might not. That might not be right. Okay, that's that. So now that I've sorted out my canvas bitmap, I need an index for some reason. Set zbuffer element. I'm gonna keep that at 0. Now, I'm not expecting to have a scene, like an image on screen yet. What's this? Animation, this is not null here. So what do I need to supply? The type it wants is animation, and I'm supplying a list. It's not right. So I'm gonna just home in on the animation in the list, and that's it. For context, anytime you see these triangle brackets with a type, that's usually the type you need for your overload. Because these brackets kind of indicate type. The type is encapsulated here. That's how you know what type you need to supply your overload. Whatever type is in the triangle bracket is probably the type you need in your overload, okay? Just a quick way to figure that out. I'm definitely going to need debugging. So I had to make sure my command list and zbuffer is populated correctly and stuff. I'm gonna put a break here. I should have like an output window, shouldn't I? Some kind of output terminal or just an output window to help my debugging, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll just use the debugging facility in Visual Studio alone for now. Yeah, this looks okay. I'm gonna put a break here because I want to make sure my assets are being loaded firstly. So we do this step by step. And I'm gonna run with debugging. Sweetness, as that's loading my program, as my UWP is loading, I'm gonna check my chat. Okay, let's see. Sorry, the camera angle's weird, isn't it? I can only put it on the side right now, my camera. Next time what I'll do, I'll try to put, I know you're probably like kind of making a joke, dude. it's quite cool though. Thank you for that. I'll try and move the camera, because I don't even like the camera angle too much to the side. So I'm gonna like try and put it a bit in front of me for the next stream. It's just that in my setup, I have like a big TV I'm using as a monitor in front of me, and anything I put in front of the monitor will obstruct my view. So it's like all the way to the right, off screen, is my camera. So that's the context. Unless I like move the camera like above the monitor or something, I have to be kind of smart with that. I'll see what I can do. Okay, we already hit an exception. Yay! Let's see, index out of the range. So some of these, I'm surprised. Oh, the funny thing is, we hit this before we even hit the resources one. This happens. We need to be careful with, this comes onto like threading considerations. Because notice that the animated resources didn't even invoke, it seems, before the scene got built, even though we're loading our canvas components first. Gotta be careful with the threading. Try catches can help for this, validation can help for this as well. I like the idea of validation, so I need to make sure that this flag is true, which I can access. I was doing that for testing, so I just access directly here. So I only want to invoke the function, this code, when my resources have loaded. It doesn't make sense to build the scene with no resources. So first things first. If my flag is true, then I proceed to do this stuff. I'll get rid of the debugging flag for now. Having that async in my animated resources is kind of worrying me a little bit. Oh no, I need it though because I got on a wait. Okay, that's fine. But this one not strong. Keep this here. Go on the top of the try. Let me just see what happens. Because we didn't hit our break, guys. We didn't hit our resource break. Animated resources break here on line 193. Or rather, better said 214, but I put a new break on 193. So I'm getting rid of it. Because sometimes what I learned through my experience, that sometimes debugging can alter the flow of like the threading dispatcher. So you got to be careful with that, especially when you're dealing with multiple threads. So now we're in animated draw. So the good news is that this being called, our draw course hasn't broken yet. Not gonna try and draw to the screen yet. I'm gonna comment that out because I know this is not correct. Update core. I'm gonna leave this here because it might fix what was broken before. But I doubt it's this. I think it's in my main program, my main window file. But I'm gonna leave it there. This might not be a good idea. Calling invalidate on every update call, but you know, here we are. Okay, so that flow, we had to look at that. Okay, yeah. So the next thing I want to do, funny thing is, my animated resources, where was I? What broke there? Oh, it was animated draw. I didn't hit a break here. Let me put a break all the way there. I have to really follow through the stack, like the flow of each line that's been invoked. Sometimes you would get like step overs and stuff. It's really, that's the kind of the step over invocation bug. That kind of bug or functional bug like that is it gets tough when it's not syntax related, you know? When it's functional bugs, it gets a little bit more obscure. Okay, so let's see what's actually going on here. Resources, that's fine. Setting my folder path. Yep. Data interface, populating my folder path list. That's cool. Asset array, data interface. Okay, that's fine. What's next? Create resources. Update draw loop. Invalidate. Still false, so that's really weird. And that's not good because this is not going to invoke. And this is called one time. The draw loop needs to be invoking. This is where the threading things come into play. I feel like I should have initialization logic in my update. Or I need to like tell XAML to call this only when everything is loaded. I shouldn't really get the update loop involved in this because I'm in project scope. Alright, sweet. Depends how I want to structure this. It's all about the timing. It's better that I like discreetly call build scene once all my resources are actually up and running. like a build scene button, but I don't really like the sound. I don't really want to have a button on screen, but you know, you're not gonna have all your resources loaded at once. Ideally in a game, like, or right, practically in the game, you're gonna have like press start, load level 1, load level 2, right? So you're not gonna like load all of your every single asset in every part of the game at once, right? So I'm gonna go to my XAML and I'll put a button, main page, and my button is just gonna build my scene. So it's like saying it's like a level select, like select level 1, level 1 is built. And I have a button to build scene, then my scene is built. So it's not everything that has to be automated, I suppose. I've got my canvas in my grid. Button, X name, that wrong. Say, build scene button. Give my button a name, or content rather. Give my scene. This height and width. Like height of 200, width of 400. I haven't specified. I think the value of my grid is defaulting to the screen, like my UWP window, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me add an event handler to this. Quick event. I'm going to add a new event handler. Oops. This takes a minute. A few seconds. Build screen button, click. Go to my page. Build scene button, event. I've got my event handlers here. Yeah, now I'll call build scene from here. So I only want to call build scene when my resources have loaded, and I know my resources are loaded once my draw call invokes. So I'm going to go to my animated draw class, put a breakpoint, just so I know when my draw call is ready, and then I can press the button. It's like a loading screen, basically. I'm making a manual loading screen, in a sense. Let me check for time. Oh, it's been an hour. I thought it was like 30 minutes. Time flies when I'm coding online. Okay, so UWP is just loading. Okay, it's gonna give UWP a minute to load. Yeah, I'm just messing with you, brother. Respect for the gym grind. Thank you. Appreciate. Yeah, the camera facing me directly would be better. I don't have to keep looking like that when I'm addressing you guys directly. So yeah, I'll look to change the camera angle for the next stream. Yeah, so my draw call's invoking. That's perfect. That's good. My draw call's invoking. That means that my resources have loaded. But I'm a bit worried because some of my breaks in here, and I'm not too sure why. It's all the threading stuff. Nonetheless, I'm going to continue for now. So there's my very unformatted button. Let me put it here for now. Let's see what happens. So if I go, there's a chance that my is loaded is still false, or my flag is false. I just think that might happen. So let me see. Oh, it's true. Excellent. I'm really happy about that. It was false earlier, so now it's gone. Now my flag is true. So now I'm starting to look at the zbuffer stuff and the command list stuff. So animation. If I can step out of these lines, then I assume everything's fine. Initialize command list. Step out. I'm populating my command list. I'm stepping out. Don't need to go through all the lines. Initializing my zbuffer. I'm gonna step out. So far so good. Populate my zbuffer. Step out. This one I'm not too sure what's going to happen. So I'm going to use debugging to expose my members here. So my command list has an element, which is good to see. So my command list has an element there. And the animation is populated, yep. There's one animation class constructed. Animation per frame should be 1, not 0. I'm not sure why it's saying 1. I'm not sure what animation frame is saying 0. Oh, maybe that's the current frame in it. The current frame in focus. The main one is the assets. I've got one asset loaded. Yeah, this looks good. So this asset would be my Valkyrie sprite. And as you can see, like, it says 260 by 360. If I go to my solution explorer, the dimensions of this is 260 by 360. It's quite nice, isn't it? So we know for sure we have this sprite loaded in. The dimensions have been set. So now that we have the sprite loaded in, I'm going to continue with my debugging session. I'm going to step out of my command list and continue. Let's see, where am I? Data interface, I'm going to step out. Ooh, got an issue here. I thought this line of code was suspicious. Set zbuffer element. Why am I even using this? Man, that line of code is suspicious. Let me go back. So zbuffer list is fine, so it's not that. It's probably, oh, I haven't dealt with my ret list. I'm accessing an index that doesn't exist. I forgot to actually deal with my ret list. Okay, cool. I need a bounding rect to hold my my bitmap graphic of Valkyrie. So similar to my command and zbuffer, my command list and zbuffer, I'm gonna go to my main page or my main window. I'm so used to WPF having a main page. I keep saying main page, main window. No, see, I got it wrong. No, it's main page, but then sometimes I say main window, or I consider that I need to say main window. Main window is WPF. Main page is UWP. I get confused. Alright, cool. Where am I? Oh my goodness. Zbuffer, command list, ret list. Okay, cool. Or render list, better said. So I need to go to my data interface contract update. I need to initialize a rect. Assign render list delegate. For rect, construct rect. I guess the way I did this is weird. Oh, okay, I just call this function. Okay, no, it's fine. It's not static, so I need to make an instance of this class. I don't like that I did it that way. I'm gonna roll with it. Maybe because I'm making, I don't know. I'm not gonna break. I don't want to risk breaking render list right now. So I'm gonna make an instance of render list. That's fine. I'll just go to my main. I can find my main. Make a render list. Okay, render list. New render list. So new notifications. So public render lists. Need to focus. Where was I? So now I can access this via my data interface. So I'm using a similar, I'm using a similar convention to my zbuffer and my command list. Let me see, push out things. Okay. Public void. Oh, it's not static. It's gonna work. Yeah. Well, I can't even remember my data interface layer. Render list. I'm initializing my rect list. I should change it to render list. Yeah, that's one. Alright. This has to be in a list, man. What am I doing? Oh, I've got the rect list. Where am I adding to this? Oh, I didn't see that function at the bottom. Generate rect list elements, I didn't see that. It's my data interface. I should really call it rect list rather than render list, but it's okay. Render list sounds cooler. Where's the rect list? Why didn't I see this in the IntelliSense? No, it's not coming up for some reason. Oh, I see. Oh, statically accessed. Okay. That's weird. Why am I doing it this way? Super weird, man. And be careful of static and non-static contexts. Static and non-static contexts. It's easy to get mixed up with static and non-static contexts. Where was our data interface? I really have to be careful with that. Might need to do some optimizing after this. Render lists. I know I'm not doing something right, but it's fine. Because like for say my command list works in a static context overall, but like some other members don't, which is a bit strange. So now what are the bounds of the rect? I have to pass it all in. Why is it width and height? So it was like something like 360 by 260, I can't remember. Depends what I want my rect list to be at runtime. These are double values. X1, hi. I'm gonna take a short break soon, guys. I'm gonna take a short break now. Literally like 2 minutes. Oops, my OBS is freezing on me. Why is my OBS freezing? Sorry guys, 1 second. I'm trying to fix my OBS. My OBS doesn't want me to do stuff. Sorry guys, I messed up. Alright, I'm off screen, my camera, so I'll be back, guys. Just be 2 minutes. Won't be too long. BRB, right down. Alrighty, I'm back. Get my camera up and running. I am back, guys. Sweet. Alright. What's this? Notifications. Notifications everywhere. Alright, sweetness. So where was I? Where's my tasks? Alright, today's the 19th. What was I doing? Render. Oh yeah, I was setting the render list stuff. So is this my data interface layer? Yeah. So I'm gonna need to update my signature. Sound working? Yeah. Make sure my sound is up. There we go. My signature is updated for my populate ret list method. What's next? So now I need to just call this method in the appropriate place. which would be in my main page, I think. Oh, is that right? Where's my animated draw? Okay, that's fine. Set Z buffer element, command list, Vanguard core animation list, Vanguard core animated resources. I need to render this somewhere. Sort of wrecked. Oh, I think it's here. No, I can't remember. I don't want to start a new debugging session. I don't start a debugging session just yet. Oh, I think it's like here. Before I populate my Z buffer. Let me see. Animation class. My data interface. Render list. Was it? I keep saying ret list, man. I keep messing up like that. Populate ret. What did I do? I mean, let me change that. There's 2 implementations now. Initialize render list. I didn't do the signature right, did I? And populate ret list. I'm going to change that to render list. Should be like draw list. I'm not really about rendering. It's more like drawing level. Populate. That's not right. Render lists. Public void initialize my render list. Okay. Excellent. So now I should call these appropriately my functions. Myself on my keyboard better. And data interface. Populate render list, I can't remember. Render list, set my parameters. Say like 0, 0 is the top left of the screen. Width, I'm gonna just be like 200 width by 400. Excellent, so I've got my render list sorted. So now I need to just utilize my render list in my when I want to set my command list, I think. What does this take actually, my command list? Where did I need the destination rec? I can't remember. I think it's for animation. Bounding rect, you know? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Let me just step through. When I hit an exception, I'll know what's going on. Can't remember where I was. So I'm just loading my UWP now. This is right now I'm in my project scope. So of course I want to be building my scene in project scope, relying on the features in my class library. Got another batch of tea. I think I forgot. Did I put sugar in this? Yeah, I did. A little bit. Awesome. How am I doing for time? Okay, 1 hour and a half. So I'm just waiting for Visual Studio. Wait for Visual Studio to load. My UWP session should be up soon, yep. My Right. So I'm going to see where my break hits. Obviously I need to build scene first. So I need to click the button. Click my button. Here we go. So I'm going to build scene. Now I have line 21 invoked. I'm going to go down here. So I'm going to step out to line 30. Let's see if the render list stuff works. I'm going to try and step out. Okay. Now I'm going to try and step in. I'm going to step out. Looks like it worked. So here's what is around here that I got the exception, I think. I can't remember what part it was. That's why I'm doing this. I think it was here. My command list? Let me see. What's going on? Oh, it was this part. Oh yeah, of course. So, let me see. Actually, let me have a look at this. Render list is now there's something in the render list. Excellent stuff, guys. So as you can see, I set the dimensions of 200 and 400 for my first rep list, and it's here now. So there shouldn't be an exception, hopefully. This mains.args looks so suspicious. It's even like no, I don't like that. This could be an issue. I need to sort that out. For now, there's no compilation. Oh, there is a compilation error. I think it's my argument. I think canvas bitmap. I think args is no, man. Yeah, it's that main.args is not right. Let me make sure I'm passing my objects correctly. Go back. Oh, there it was. Where's this data interface, huh? I need to ask myself, how am I passing my canvas? And I need to reflect like the way I'm passing my canvas. So, canvas create resources event arg. I gotta do it this way. So, let me actually stop this for now. Otherwise I might have like instantiation issues. So I'm gonna adjust my method signature to accept I want my signature to accept my canvas argument. So canvas, animated canvas that is. Is it canvas animated? Control draw event args. I'll just say args. This. Get rid of it. I'll get rid of the main bit. Like that. Now I will update my signature. What was the function name? What's this one? Now I gotta make sure I'm passing the correct. I should have an error somewhere in the reference. It'd be here. One error. Where is it? Yeah, the overload's not correct. I just added an overload. I just added another overload. Where's the event args one? Command list bit in between the command list and the index. Okay, there's the index. Here's the comma separator in it. Just like here now. So I need to pass my canvas event args. So I want to make sure I'm doing this in the right way. I guess I can just pass my main canvas control, and I can access my args from my control, I guess. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. It shouldn't be this way. Oh, okay. I need to be my draw call for this. Which means I might need my command list. Let me see. There's my draw call. So I have my draw call sessions here. Because this would have been in the draw call, but obviously I'm kind of moving things out. I need this. Draw session. I need to be mindful how I'm doing this. I need like a getter in my data interface maybe. So we should just the same way as well. I mean, I could try and put that args on global scope, but I don't like. But it might be the only way. Let me see what I can do here. How to use that. No, I'm not gonna find it there. It's like each respective argument has to be needed. I don't know about making a list of args. I don't think that's necessary, but for the sake of seeing if I can make this work, I might have to just kind of break my convention a little bit. Nah, this is getting strange. Okay, let's be careful about this. Typically, I would just access it from the draw core. Obviously, I'm kind of taking things out of it. That's why it's a little bit trickier. Because I think I can handle this. I just have to be careful how I pass my objects, so I don't break convention as much as I can. The way I was doing it was like this. I mean, this could still work. It might be no, which it is. At runtime, I was getting no. The pre-compiler knows this might be no, hence why it's getting flagged. Not a good look. This no thingy. Let me just have a look at what I was trying to do though. That's arms. I'm not even using these numbers, man. Potentially. I'm not sure. Okay, guys, I'm gonna lock in for a bit and try and just figure this out. I think it's quite a simple fix. Just I'm not seeing it. Kind of like with my invalidate thing. I guess it doesn't matter what kind of args I pass, as long as I call the correct functions. Because this args, all that's gonna happen is that, oh my gosh, I forgot what class I have to go to. When I'm building my render list, I'm accessing like args.drawing session. Where's my render list? Oh wait, is it? What was it? Wait, what was it? I've just gotten confused. I lost where I was. This is what I forgot. It's so easy to forget things. Command list. What is the command list? And the Z buffer. Yeah, because for this args, I'm just calling draw image. As long as these parameters are set, I'm not very concerned what args is. Args just has to be initialized. I just need a non-null instantiated args, because then as long as what I'm passing here is valid, it's fine. I think that's fine. So, excuse me guys. Let me go back to my main class, not this one, but my other main. Now this is going to be very simple, but goodness me. Just by doing that, it shouldn't be static firstly, I think. Oh wait. No, it doesn't make a difference. Okay. Let me just evaluate this. This is not how I initialize this. Yeah, this is not correct. I need to get this from the actual canvas itself. So I need the draw core. I don't want. I'm considering firing the draw core and passing the args from my draw core. So let me see. Cause this is like the only way to get it. Interesting. So I need, in that case, I might need some initialization logic in my draw core. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure if what I'm about to do is correct for my code, but I'm gonna try. Main data interface. I'm gonna go to my Z buffer. Technically, my args is in global scope now. This needs to be initialized. For now, I'm not going to initialize it. I'm going to just let this run. Which means now this shouldn't. Where am I? Where's the other main? My args shouldn't be null. So as soon as this is not null, if I go back to my main page, well, it's a. Let me see. Let me get rid of this. Non-nullable field arms with kind of non-null values. The thing. I'm gonna leave the non-null indication there, or the potential null indication with the question mark, because I'm not initializing it, so the pre-compiler is like, oh, this might be null, this args, from what I can tell. But the pre-compiler doesn't seem to be considered, because obviously this draw core might not initialize. I might not invoke my draw core, so this potentially might be a null args. But I know the draw core will initialize as long as everything's correct. So this potentially shouldn't be null, but there's potential it could be null as well. Confusing. Because the thing is, I'm building the scene. When am I calling my invoke? I'm sorry, my invalidate here. Okay. So my draw core should be firing up, despite the fact I haven't put any images on screen. That's fine, because I may not draw the resources I want to load all at once, you know, so that's okay. Sometimes I want to press a button, I want to go to a menu, then I want to access a stage, then I get my assets. So I'm going to hit play and see what happens. I'm going to start my program. This is interesting. If I get another no exception, I'll be quite curious as to what's going on. Wow. Let's see. Waiting for Visual Studio to load my UWP project. Maybe I'll put one up here just in case. Build my scene, so to speak. I'm going to move my breakup online. Check my args. Okay, so my args seems to be not null. I've got an args because my args is in global scope. Let me just home in on my arcs just to double check this. Yeah, I got a drawing session and a timing. That's good. Okay, looks good so far. Let's hope I don't get exception. Let's try. There's another utilization of arcs. It's not now, which is good news for now. Cannot access a disposed object. We're going into threading territory here. This is probably because I put my args. I'm assigning my args in global scope. I need to really make that initialization for my arg setting. Otherwise, I think this is why this is happening. Let me continue, see what happens. It's really not a good idea to have args assigned on like each draw call. Ah, goodness me. Did I hit save? I don't know. My Visual Studio is hanging up a little bit. There we go. Hit save quickly. Let me stop the program. And draw, I want to initialize this logic just in case. This only needs to be done once. But because I need to, typically I will be, sorry guys, typically I'll be accessing event args in my draw call. I'll take an event args out of my draw call and just putting in global scope. I could just use a flag. What am I assigning? How about if main args is not null? Or equals to null. If main args is null, so if main args is not null, then this initialization logic is complete. Only when args is null will args be assigned event args. Okay, so I'm gonna hop back into my program. I'll leave my break on line 35. Press build scene, and I'll step in. I'll step out. Step out, I'm gonna step out again. Okay, we're approaching where I got that exception before. So I'll step out my animation routine. Z buffer, okay, let's see what happens. So args is not null for now. Seems okay. Drawing session, this is where my exception hit, I think. Cannot access a disposed object. Okay, this is weird. Where am I? What class am I? I'm in the Z buffer. Is it canvas bitmap? Or is it args? One of these two, either args or I don't think it's a canvas bitmap. I've still got it here. Seems to be canvas bitmap seems to be not null. 260 by 360. Check args. Update count 4. Might need a try catch for now. I may just need a try catch situation. Draw session. What am I done? Z buffer. Probably have to restart my program. I'm not sure. I'm gonna just handle my exception until we start. I'm gonna attempt to use my global args, see what happens. Again, this could be a null situation, it's really risky. don't like that. Okay, I'm gonna wait for my UWP to load. I'm gonna hit build scene. Step out. Okay, I'm probably gonna handle that exception. Yep. Now this could be a null reference. Oh, it's disposed. This is where things get a bit intricate. Is my args disposed potentially due to me taking my args out of local scope? Let me roll with this and see what happens. Oh, actually that's not good. Go back. I'm gonna comment that out. Probably gonna get a couple lines. No, I don't. Okay. Just see if I can continue the program. I'm not sure. Nah, I have to restart the program. I'm gonna just like handle the exception with an empty try catch and just see what happens for now. I may want to evaluate my draw core initialization. Not the draw core itself, but my event args thing. I'm not sure. I really don't like how I'm dealing with my event argument. Let me just hit continue. So good news is that the program is still running, but are things loading? That's the question. I can even hit build scene once I want to just check. Before I even try to put draw logic in, I'm gonna like hit build scene. Good thing I got buttons to just test all of this stuff, rather than just like automating it at this level. So then I can just like debug things, like I can debug manually. It's quite helpful. My args. What's the timing saying? Update countdown. I'm not sure what that update count means. Object dispose exception. Not good. Oh my goodness! And this is in the parameter level. So I'm not having an issue because of global scope issues. On parameter level, I'm facing this system object disposal section. Be careful with this. So it's the args on the canvas bit map. I need to fix the args. Let me just see if my exception comes yet. Also, okay, let me try and fix. Let me work backwards and try and fix my args. It's coming through this reference. Z buffer. So my Z buffer might be broken. Drawing calls. What's going on here? Easy buffer delegate, drawing session calls. Event args being passed here. Draw session calls. Let's have a look at how I'm passing it from how I'm passing my data into this Z buffer. Interesting. I have to close the stream soon. I just want to see if I can kind of like get this, get up to speed with where I am. If not, I'm gonna work offline as I always do. Let me just check the time, as I do want to respect the time. It's over 2 hours, just about. I'll give myself a few minutes, and then if I can't get this sorted, I'll just close the stream and I'll work offline later. Drawing session. Where was I? So it's an issue with the args being disposed. The question is why. I might need to do some more theory into like how disposal works with CSharp. That'd be good. Make a note of that. Code changes. My notes are just messy. Alright, what's that get drop in args? Full session calls. So it's about the Z buffer being initialized and how my args is being passed. I think one of my theories is that I have my draw call, which is basically invoking an event arg, but I'm trying to access an event arg that has already been disposed because now the thread is on a new step, right? So the draw call, so I'll try to illustrate this. I think I know what's going on. I have draw call 1, draw call 2, for example, in the draw loop, in the draw thread. The funny thing is, because I'm in the UI thread, that's what I need to be careful of. I'm in the UI thread. Anytime I'm working in the project scope, I'm in the UI thread. So in the UI thread, I might be trying to access, say, an event args that's called in draw call 2. So let's just say, actually no, better said, let me say event draw call 1. There's an event args under draw call 1. But by the time that my draw call has updated, and now in time I'm in draw call 2, my UI thread might be behind. And my UI thread might be looking at draw call 1, trying to access my event args. But of course, because my draw call 2 is what's in focus now, my event args in draw call 1 has been disposed because it's not needed anymore. So Win2D probably disposes of my event args of draw call 1. But my UI thread is like, oh, where's my event? My UI threads were like, where's my event args in draw call 1? This is the thing. This threading thing is something that really needs to be I need to be mindful of. And in the documentation, we're gonna close the stream with the documentation. So before I go to the documentation, let me go and just go to my tasks, populate my Z buffer. Let me see. Canvas animated control. Event args is being disposed before my UI thread can consume objects from the respective game thread, because everything to do with the draw call is on the game thread. So I need to fix interop between UI game loop threads. I think this is what's going on. This will be a job for like the next stream or so, or something, because we've gone above 2 hours. So I'll start wrapping up, guys, by turning your attention to the documentation. Let me see, where is it gone? Because in the documentation we have these threading considerations, where we have the game loop thread, and we also have another thread, the UI thread, as you can see in this picture. So the UI thread and game loop thread. So my initial reaction is that I should utilize my update core for what I'm trying to achieve with my Z-buffer stuff, because my Z-buffer is trying to access game loop stuff with my event args. But if I rely on the update loop that Win2D provides, then as you can see here, guys, update draw, all this is synchronized, it's taken care of, which just basically means everything that I'm trying to achieve here should really be passed on to my update loop, which I already have actually, or my draw core, even better, my draw core. So it's going to be a very interesting fix. I have this update loop is actually synchronized with my draw thread, my update loop, or my game loop, my game thread, basically. So the update loop is synchronized with my game thread. So this is going to be a job for the next stream, or when I'm offline prior to my next stream. But I'm pretty sure what's going on is just a threading incompatibility, or like a threading timing issue. Okay, guys, this has been a fun one. This has been a fun stream. We still haven't built our scene, but we're getting closer to that. We just have to make sure that the objects being consumed are valid and not being disposed of. So it's kind of, I think I'm quite happy with the progress today. Yeah, so that's that. I'm gonna close this. In the description below, there's some information for my Learn C# Masterclass. Link in the description if you're interested. Register your interest. It's totally free to register your interest for my Learn C# Masterclass bootcamp. Or you can use the Google Calendar link as well if you want to directly book a session or more information. If you want to book a session with me so that you can get more info, please do that. I'll very much appreciate that. Alright guys, we've reached the end of the stream. I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to quickly check for any new comments. Let me have a look. I think there's a few. Maybe not. No, there's no comments. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I bid you all a great day. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.